some people think that's letting Obama off the hook, and that argument can be made. But I think it's very important to put Obama in context. Obama is operating in an American cultural world that has spent the last 30 years convincing itself that if we stop looking at race, we will fix structural racism. And that because we have ended, or shall I say, reduced government or state-sponsored segregation and bigotry and publicly acceptable hate speech, that because we've largely reduced and almost ended that somehow we've ended structural racism. We've done no such thing. We've just changed the language that frames structural racism. And so it seemed to me that Obama was not the person who could do what you're asking a black president in the sense, I call the traditional sense of the word, could do. And I think that that's the reality. Now, here's my great hope. I'm trying to find a silver lining for us here, Tavis, and that is that this could be that moment of recognition that, this isn't going to be just about being black, but it's going to be about what's your politics and what are you willing to pursue. And this might hold all kinds of leaders accountable at every level: educational leaders, entertainers, political leaders, teachers, school board leaders, police, at every level. And I'm hoping that what we'll say is, how could it be that a black president couldn't do this? How could it be, if you're right, that Holder and the Justice Department couldn't do this? Was it just the case? Or was it that being black meant that you couldn't lobby on behalf of black Americans in any meaningful way?
Let me push back on that in two regards. Number one, then, if you're right about this, then what the heck is the value of us celebrating a black president? Just say he's the first person of color. But all this hoopla about him being the first black president, if it doesn't redound to you in some meaningful way when your back is to the wall and your babies are being shot dead in the streets, if it doesn't redound to you in some meaningful way at that point, number one, what's the value of having a black president? And number two, when it served his purpose during the campaign to have him talk about race from Constitution Hall, I believe, in Philadelphia, but certainly it was in Philadelphia, it was to his benefit to talk about race in the campaign, to try to put some distance between him and Jeremiah Wright. He gave what many still regard as the most brilliant speech of his political career about race. So he did talk about it back in the day. So my question, I'm not asking him to do anything, I'm not asking for a higher standard, I'm not asking him to do anything I wouldn't ask another president to. Bill Clinton had a race commission. So I'm not trying to be unfair to the president, I'm just saying you have talked about race before, and if you are the president and you are the best person to help usher us into a conversation about this, why not do it?
Well, I think he should do it, and I think he should impanel a commission, and I think he should empower the discussion. And I think that we can't keep doing this kind of media dance where we say there are two sides and they're very polarized. Well, these are not really just two sides. There are actually many positions, but more importantly, there are positions that are flat out, hostile and unjust, and they shouldn't be given equal time around the same kinds of time that would be given to other positions. And this sort of fantasy that all positions are equal has to be ended, and we need to be much more forceful about saying what our vision is, what our goals are, and to pursue that. So there's no question to me that more conversation should be had, and Obama should do more about it. But, to me, I never had the expectations in the first place, and I think part of this is about what are we looking for? Speaking here as an African American, what expectations do we have? Right? Have we set the terms of the relationship with the American government, with local police, where we have a reason to expect proper and fair and